Why am I on the...
There is no transition video.
I'm on the side now.
Well... Is that better?
I guess so. Hi, good morning. I'm Seth.
I'm Tammy.
We are the 4031 family, and it is Wednesday.
Finally, I've been, like, all day yesterday, I kept alluding to yesterday being Wednesday.
Yesterday was Tuesday.
And it was messing us up. And Holly, I did the same thing to talking to Holly. I don't know. Multiple times yesterday it was Wednesday. It wasn't. It is now.
Yeah.
So the week is apparently very slowly progressing for me. But, good morning.
Good morning.
We hope you're having a good day today.
Today's July the 23rd.
23rd. Yay. Cruising.
It's this year is flying by.
It is.
I can't believe it's late July.
It is. It's crazy.
Right?
It's very crazy.
Anything exciting going on? We did get our books printed for CPE. Thank you for praying for us about getting all that stuff done, and they're on the way and should be...
Well, those books are on their way.
Yeah.
We have 2 sets of books.
Yeah, sorry.
Books for the retailers for their welcome bags, and then books that we need for the store or for our display. Those we ordered yesterday.
Yeah. I don't think we asked them to pray about that. We did ask people.
You have been. You just didn't know it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the books for the retailers, those will arrive tomorrow, so they'll get them, which is great.
Yes, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Even if the other books don't actually, and we'll have books, but if we don't for some reason get all of our massive order of books, then at least they've got samples to look through, and we'll have examples of almost everything.
Just not any of the handwriting books.
Yeah.
But I think they'll get here. I think
too.
that I'm a lot more relieved today. Yesterday when we were placing the order, it was, time for printing and then time for shipping, and it was butting up right to the day that we were planning on leaving. So hopefully they'll get here in time so we can leave as scheduled as opposed to having to push a day.
Hopefully.
Yeah. God knows what he's doing. I don't with many things, but he does. And that's really all that matters is that, when we're able to sit, it's really, really hard for me. If you don't know me yet, you'll know this soon. You should know it by now. I don't give up control very easily. I really don't.
She really does not.
I try to lay things down at the cross. I usually bring them back with me when I walk away. I'm like, if a child says, how do I do this? How do I take care of whatever? My response is almost always going to be, don't worry, I'll get it.
Yes. So we have kids at 15 who go, how do I clean this spoon?
No, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Sometimes it feels like it.
It's not good.
Yesterday, though, I was proud of myself when I was asked a question. Instead of saying, don't worry, I'll take care of it, it was turn around and look to see what you have. So it was forward progress.
It was.
But I don't know. I'd like to think I'm not the only one who at times when people ask how to do something, sometimes it's just easier to say, don't worry, I'll get it, instead of taking the time to teach someone, because I could have had it done before I teach them. Does that make sense? But unfortunately, in doing that, I'm not helping that person.
You're not teaching them, right? Although you're not a different person today than you were 10 years ago when we had other children the same age as the ones that we have that we're dealing with this now, and they've all grown up to be responsible adults who take care of their own stuff. So,
and truth be told, I know said child knew how to do this. I think said child, just like we had 10 years ago,
didn't want to do
it.
So,
and I get that mentality too.
How do I clean the spoon?
Again, it wasn't a spoon.
No, it wasn't a spoon.
But yeah, it's definitely easier sometimes to feign ignorance and let someone else handle it than to just get off your butt and do it.
Boy, that is applicable in so many situations, isn't it?
Just get off your butt and do it. Yeah.
We should move on because we'll get in trouble if we go any further into this. So, just as a quick aside, in doing this transition to be able to do vertical stuff like on Instagram and X and stuff like that. Our chat stuff seems to have broken. So
we're going to try to keep up with it.
We're going to try and keep up with it. She has Facebook there. We just got notification. Somebody's jumped on Facebook. We've got
someone.
I think I have
Morning,
YouTube
buddy.
chat up. We have Instagram chat up. We have Rumble chat up. I don't know, but for some reason it doesn't all seem to be coming. So there's a Facebook chat from Benjamin saying good morning that is not showing up on our screen.
You're also not on the multi-stream chat.
No, I'm not, because on the multi-stream, and this is the problem, on the multi-stream chat, for some reason, no chat is coming in.
You would think that when Facebook, it's not.
It's not. So that's why I've got it clicked on YouTube, whatever. So if you say...
Getting into trouble. No.
If you say something, or if you, whatever, and we don't respond, we're sorry. We're trying. We'll go back and look at the streams afterwards, at least, and we get notified of comments. So after the fact. So anyway, July 23rd, today, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Days of Praise.
Da-da-da.
That means you.
Oh, yeah. Ta-da. Go to www.icr.org/DOP for Days of Praise, and you will be able to subscribe. And in doing so, you'll get the daily devotion in your email. Again, I usually receive mine a little bit after midnight each morning, and then it'll be there for you for when you wake up. And you'll also get these quarterly in your mailbox to be prepared. We got these about a week ago, so it's 5-6 weeks in advance. If you subscribe now, I assume you would get the next quarters.
Yeah.
But again, you have access to all of these online. If you do click on the link from your emails, it would take you to today's devotion. And there's usually a play button there.
Link from our emails.
Isn't there a link on our email for the devotion?
What email are you talking about?
The daily devotion email that we get every morning just after midnight.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
If you go to the website and you go to today's Days of Praise, there'll be a little play button. You'll hear this bright, chipper young lady's voice saying, "Hey, it's the Days of Praise devotions." And then pause for a second, and then a gentleman will read in a very calm tone. I kind of wish he did the introduction, because like the lady's voice is very chipper and happy and energetic. So it really confused me when I heard her introduction, because I was expecting
somebody else.
Yeah. The gentleman who reads it, I was expecting him to start it, and it really threw me, because that was not his voice. But anyway, go to that link and you can get signed up.
There you go.
It is a free resource, so don't worry about what kind of expense it might pull on you, but you're always welcome to donate to ICR and help fund those resources.
Yeah. And while you're donating to ICR and helping out, you can help us by liking the video, following the channel, checking out all the other channels that we're on in the description of this: X, Instagram, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Go there if you have an account on those platforms and like us and follow us there too. It helps immensely to get things, to get us into the search algorithms, so more people are hopefully touched by the Word of God as we're reading and talking about it.
Yeah.
So that's the goal, and you can help. So please do.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I knew it was him. I was just, I really like Dave's voice. Benjamin was pointing out it's Dave Napier from the Institute for Creation Research's events department does the reading of Days of Praise, and he's got a great tone for it. He's got a great voice for it.
We should just let him read it.
And he reads it well. Like, and that's a legitimate statement. He reads it well.
He does.
There are a lot of people who will just read words and not read inflection or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They don't emote into it. They're just reading to you. And I think that could come across really bad. So I appreciate Dave's interpretation, if you will, when he does these. It's enjoyable to listen to. And it's only, it's usually about 3 minutes.
Under 3.
Today's is 3 minutes and
3:07.
7 seconds.
But if you take out the introduction, which is probably 10 or 15 seconds, then it's under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
We're not going to take 3 minutes. We're going to take a little longer.
But we can't see the clock again.
Oh.
So it's up there. I have it over there. Anyway,
There
so
it
today's devotion is from Dr. Brian Thomas. It is entitled Hardened Hearts, and the text comes from Joshua chapter 11, verse 20. Am I reading today?
Yes, you are.
Is that the case? For it was of the
3
Lord.
days in a row.
What if I start crying?
I think I would break. You don't cry very much.
For it was of the Lord to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle, that he might destroy them utterly, that they might have no favor, but that he might destroy them as the Lord commanded Moses.
And by the way, if you were to cry,
Yeah.
the empath that I am, I would start crying.
And then I would have to do the devotion
and you'd
in
have
tears.
to do it anyway.
Right.
So don't cry.
No, yeah.
Okay.
We won't do that. then.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of a hard verse, isn't it? For it was of the Lord to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle. So God made people fight Israel,
Yeah.
that he might
Might
destroy them utterly.
Utterly. Not just destroy them. Utterly.
Yeah. And that they might have no favor, but that he might destroy them. That's pretty
Yeah.
intense. When read out of context, says Dr. Thomas, verses like this
What? We don't read things out of context.
verses like this seem to contradict verses like John 3:16 that says God loves everyone. John 3:16, if you don't know, says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life."
Yes.
All right, since I've read it, you gotta jump in and fix it though, because it doesn't mean that God loved the world so much.
We're getting controversial.
It's
in
not
like
controversial.
3 minutes. Where'd the time go? It's been
not
2
controversial.
minutes.
It's a context thing.
It is controversial because people don't understand. People talk about how much God loved everyone,
and
he
true.
does.
But that's not what that verse says.
Yeah.
Right. So
But I didn't know this until
the verse
recently.
says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son."
So love the
And that's
world.
not what it says. Because in the context, Jesus, who's talking to Nicodemus at this point, is talking about how when the Israelites were in the wilderness in the book of Numbers, that there were serpents, there were snakes that were biting them, and anybody that got bit was dying. So it was a pretty big thing. And so Moses was instructed to make a serpent out of bronze and put it up on a stick and hold it up. And God said, anybody who looks at the serpent will be saved. And so Moses did that. He made a serpent out of bronze, put it on a stick, and stuck it up in the air. And everybody who looked at it didn't die from the snake bites. Okay, that's great. But that's what Jesus is telling Nicodemus. He's like, just like Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Again, prophesying his own death by crucifixion there. And saying, anyone who looks to him, the Son of Man raised up and crucified on our behalf, will be saved. For God loved the world in this way. That's what the "so" means. It's pointing back to the Son of Man being lifted up, like Moses lifted up the serpent. And God loved the world that way. For God so loved the world. God loved the world in that way, that he gave his only begotten Son to be lifted up, so that anybody who looks upon him or trusts upon him should not perish. That's why context is so important, because if you take the verse, same words, they have a slightly different meaning. And it gives you
here is an adverb.
It gives you a different takeaway. That's right. No, it's not an adverb.
He so loved the world.
It's not. That's an adverb.
Right, that's what I mean. That when you take it out of context, it's being read like an adverb.
Right.
He loved the world so much. He just didn't use the word much. No.
Right. He's setting up a metaphor or a simile.
Simile.
Right. So that's the thing there. So, when read out of context, verses like this seem to contradict verses like John 3:16 that say God loves everyone. Details that help resolve this apparent contradiction also highlight the Lord's generosity. Well, I don't even think that's an apparent contradiction. Personally, you know who God is. God is the author of life, and so God gets to decide when people die. Mm-hmm. To say that God is not being loving because he determines that these people die now versus you die then, or he dies there, or she dies whenever. Mm-hmm. That's the Lord's decision for everyone.
And he gets to decide how our lives are going to be used.
Right.
Even if it means being used through death.
Correct. That's exactly right. Thousands of Israelites, Dr. Thomas continues, have been wandering in the desert or in the wilderness for 40 years before Joshua led them to sack Jericho, Ai, and other pagan cities. The pagans knew what was coming. Rahab of Jericho said, I know that the Lord has given you the land and that your terror has fallen upon us, for we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you. So the people living in Canaan 40 plus years later still talked about the Israelites crossing the Red Sea, right? Never mind that they had just done exactly the same thing crossing the Jericho, where the Lord dried up the river so they could all cross the Jericho to go into the promised land.
I had no idea, and I think I read that happens 3 times that the Lord dried the river, because there was one time at that area, at that timing, I think, where he dried it up for them to cross the Jericho, and then did it again soon after that.
Yeah.
As I understand it was, well, when there's the verse in one of the Samuels, where it talks about building your Ebenezer.
Your Ebenezer, right. That's
and they did that in the middle of the dry Jericho.
Right. They put the stones that marked
the 12 stones. They put 12 stones to signify the 12 tribes.
Yeah.
For again, a monument.
Yep. Soon after, a cadre of nearby Gibeonites masqueraded as a faraway people in hopes it would preserve them. Joshua discovered their plot and asked them to explain it. The Gibeonites replied, Because it was certainly told thy servants how that the Lord thy God commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. Therefore we were sore afraid of our lives because of you and have done this thing. So they saw the writing on the wall, as it were, that they were to be ejected or killed. If the Lord certainly told the Gibeonites about his plans, their neighbors likely knew too. Yet they fought God instead of seeking him, except for Rahab and her family, whom God preserved. The Lord showed his generosity by informing the nations in the land of his intentions more than a generation ahead of time. Wow. They refused to choose him, so he hardened their hearts. It's interesting because, if the point is to kill everybody who's in the land, and you know that they're going to come in and kill everybody who's in the land, what should you do? Get out of the land.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the point. And those who refused, who thought, now we can fight our way out of this,
they chose against God.
They chose against God, right. Yeah, and it's interesting, it's not only that Rahab and her family were preserved. And again, Rahab was a prostitute in the city of Jericho. Mm-hmm. But when the walls fell, only her apartment remained, which was in the wall. And the amazing thing about that is that God used one of her descendants.
Mm-hmm. Ruth?
Yeah. To be, and therefore Rahab herself is in the ancestral line of Jesus of Nazareth.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It goes all the way back to David, and then to Jesse, and then to Boaz, and then to Obed, and then to Boaz, and Ruth, all the way back up to Rahab. So, yeah.
Well, and that's also where it shows how much, talking about Rahab, how God can use. Don't look upon people who may not be the people you assume God will use, because God's going to use the exact people he needs to use.
Well, that's exactly, and they don't have to be.
It's not always the prim and proper.
They don't have to be churchgoers. We talked a couple weeks about Cyrus, king of a pagan nation, no follower of God, but God called him 400 or 200 years beforehand. God called him. Yes, Ruth. Yeah, Boaz is the direct family. Yeah,
thank you.
But still, the point is, Rahab is in the line of the Messiah.
Right. How controversial.
What was I saying?
Using Cyrus.
Oh, using Cyrus, yeah, a king of a pagan nation who didn't know God, but God calls him my anointed. I mean, Same here with Rahab, a prostitute living in a pagan city, in a Canaanite city, and she helps. She responds to God's call to her and acts on it and helps save Joshua and Caleb, who were in the city of Jericho, who she saved. So yeah, God uses everybody in one way, shape, form, or another.
Yeah, and sometimes you're the one whose heart has been hardened, that he leads into battle against him.
Yeah.
But those were people who chose not to follow him.
Yeah. Dr. Thomas concludes, today, will we soften our hearts and live?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things, having read this verse, I would much rather soften my heart than have it be hardened against him. I would, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. That's a choice we can take. And if we choose not to, God can affect our hearts in his way. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's not pleasant.
No.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's like all I hear is it Pat Benatar, harden my heart. It's like all I have going through my head right now.
Right.
And I don't think that's what was intended either. What is that?
That's somebody fissure on
spamming.
Yeah.
Someone's spamming.
That's all right. Dope.
And there
we
it goes.
Can get rid of it.
We have power too.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's the devotion today. Hardened hearts, and of course, God hardened Pharaoh's heart is the big. When you talk about God hardening hearts, a lot of people are uncomfortable with that because they really want to have free will,
right?
We only have a free will as far as God allows us to have a free will. And some people he uses, like we're talking about here, and in this instance, hardening the hearts of the Canaanites to come against God 400 plus years before, hardening the heart of Pharaoh to prevent him from releasing the Jews, that he might demonstrate his power and glory in unfathomable ways up until that point, through the plagues and the Passover and then the Red Sea crossing, and then so many things at the time. So anyway,
yeah, I'd much rather live my life on the side of God than having him turn away from me. It's sad to think about.
Yeah, indeed so. So anyway, that's our devotion for today.
Yeah.
And we're sticking to it.
Yeah.
I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day today. It's Wednesday, so hopefully you've got church activities or something that you can be participating in. I think our church is actually still off tonight, although there is one group meeting and our son is teaching, so
yeah, good luck to you, sir. It's final class.
His final class tonight, that's right, so that'll be good. And then August. Well, no, we still have July next week, right?
Yes, so. We do.
And then August.
One more week. Well, we hope you have a great day. Again, please feel free to drop any comments that you might have so we can follow up with you. If there's anything we can pray over with you, please feel free to ask for prayers as well. As Seth said, go to the other platforms, like, follow, subscribe, do whatever it needs to do so that this message can get to the people that God needs it to get to.
Please. That would be very helpful.
Yeah, we'd be grateful.
And if you're seeing this on Facebook, Facebook is weird. We can't stream to our own page live until we get to 100 followers. So if you can go to facebook.com/the4031 family, if you do nothing else, follow that page so that we can get there and we can stop pushing things to my personal page.
Which isn't a problem
It's
either.
not a problem. No,
well, good morning, Mrs. Becky.
Mrs. Becky
Campbell.
Huh. Hey.
Yeah, talk about kids growing up.
No joke.
Oh, my word.
Right? Wow.
I just, no, not allowed.
Right? That's, every time one of their, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, 80 years ago, 90 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago, 500 years ago, 600 years ago, 700 years ago, 800 years ago, 900 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, 7,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago, 9,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 11,000 years ago, 12,000 years ago, 13,000 years ago, 14,000 years ago, 15,000 years ago, 16,000 years ago, 17,000 years ago, 18,000 years ago, 19 stories crosses my Facebook, I'm like, that is just not possible.
It's not, but
It's not
what a
possible.
beautiful family.
Indeed so.
Yeah. Say hello to Aaron and all the kids for us.
Yeah. Someday we'll have to tell you about the cannibals living in our attic.
Benjamin's like, no. Oh, man. So thank you again for being here, live or later. We appreciate your time. We're not going to we hope not to waste it.
No. And it's good to stay in the Word, so.
We're going to be doing it anyway.
That's right. So we
Although we're going to have to shift it in a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So, anyway, for the 4031 family today, hope you have a blessed day. But I'm Seth.
I'm Tammy.
Don't forget today that He's God.
And we're not.
So, rest in that.
Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:30.
Amen.
Bye.
I don't know why I said amen.
I don't either.
That was weird.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.